Hey, welcome to MUFC Realist TV. Mick Ruby here. How you all doing? How are you all doing? Um, Look, I want to talk to you about our club and the TV revenues that is surrounding Manchester United. You all seen it. You all heard it. They've shifted our weekend games to Mondays and Tuesdays. I mean, that is Manchester United for you, right? They want to fill the maximum audience in the midweek. Therefore, they're doing that, right? Therefore, that we are only playing one game a week. It's really difficult, right? Especially like me, as a content creator, for instance, there's nothing really to talk about since we're not in Europe. We're not at the Carabao Cup. We're starting probably the FA Cup, next year as well. So, and far too much, I don't really want to make content. I want to make unique content in a way. It's not that I would jump on every single headline. It's getting repetitive. It's getting very boring, and everything is kind of affected how our team is performing. So that's why you probably don't see me doing much quality content. I mean, a lot of content because there's nothing really to talk about. I feel repetitive. I feel that I don't want to talk about what other channels are doing. Started this channel just to be unique. But when you don't get a lot of news, you kind of narrow down, right? When you getting a lot of news regarding Rúben Amorim, it's the same old story. It's repeating itself. Now the international break has been gone on. I'm absolutely bored to hell, and we are playing Liverpool. People keep forgetting that Liverpool have been in a bad form for the past 3 games. They lost 3 in a row. They bought a full fit squad. They spend more money than anyone else in the Premier League, but 0 assists, 0 goals. Alexander Isak, 0 goals as well. They spent a hell of a lot of money, right? And they haven't really clicked in the firing line and etiquette. The back line is shocking, you know. Milos Kerkez hasn't really kicked in. Frimpong the same. And this is what you get when you spend too much money and try to gel in the squad. However, I heard a funny joke that Arne Slot has tried hair gel on his head to make an example, but still it doesn't stick. So instantly, everyone is ruling Manchester United out, right? Even if we won the last game, even if we are kind of a little bit in a good form, there's always this negative connotation towards Rúben Amorim. And to a certain degree, I can agree that, right? Depends on if you're going to line up with Harry Maguire in the back line, together with Luke Shaw, and potentially throw in a Mazarawi there, right? Instantly, we are slow, right? You add on Diego Dalot instead of putting Patrick Dorgo, the athletic, fast Patrick Dorgo, on the left wing back, although he's a right-footed Dalot. And then what do we do? Yeah? If we don't even start, let's say Amad Diallo versus Kerkez, and we put something defensive, we instantly go into Anfield then to line up with 7 sitting defenders, including then Mazarawi and Bruno Fernandes, who are not the fastest. So obviously we're going to line up that way just to defend and try to hit on the counter. Then I think that you need pace when you actually hit the ball in transition, and we don't have that, right? I don't know. It's really strange, but I still have a gut feeling the Man United will go to Anfield and try to get a point. But another thing is this: well, every international break, what I'm afraid of is that Liverpool will find defeat against Man United. They will show up, right? All of a sudden, you might see that the front line is clicking into gear. It's typical Man United. But this is the biggest game of the season. This is the biggest rivalry. We're going to talk about it. And we cannot go there and capitulate. You don't go to war and expect to lose the war just to defend yourself. You go there to win, right? How are we going to do that? I think that still Bruno Fernandes is wasted in the midfield. I think Bruno Fernandes should play in his natural position, right? He doesn't create as much as he used to. playing next side to Casemiro. It's not working. I'd say that a little shift playing Cunha as a ball carrier number 8. This is where his strength is. Instantly, the midfield is solved. Doesn't matter if you play Casemiro or Ugarte, right? I rather prefer like to have Casemiro and Cunha, two Brazilians. One is the more ball carrier, the creator, and then you have Bruno Fernandes to play as the left-sided number 10 and Umwemo as the right-sided 10 and Šeško in the middle. Instantly, you change the dynamic. Instantly, you have that attacking force. And on the bench, you have Mason Mount that can come in and deputize as well, or Kobe Mainoo, right? It's been a little bit dilemma. Why did we buy two number 10s and shove Bruno down in the midfield to play deep when it doesn't really work? Also, when you look at Kobe Mainoo, the only person that he can replace is Bruno Fernandes, and Bruno Fernandes is never going to be subbed up. But in my opinion, it's been a weird odd season, but the table is there to be taken, right? A point or a victory against Liverpool can be the catalyst to the end of the season. And why I'm pantsing? Because I am doing my 10,000 steps on the treadmill. But I just want to have my say because I don't really find much to talk about. The takeover news, I don't think that's game over in a way because reports were saying that Manchester United was granted to buy that piece of land for £50 million from the railway network. So the stadium build will go ahead. And that's Glazers will stay for another 10 years. 5 years to build the stadium, 5 years to reap the profits. Because let's face it, they are not taking dividends. And the investor that we're talking about is what I said all along. I feel it's a investor to invest for the stadium, right? They will have the naming rights. They will actually build the stadium. If there is any UAE consortium, you have like, property developers like Emar, Damak, all them, that could have the naming rights. So if they build the stadium for 1 billion, they get a piece of the pie. They have the naming rights, and Man United and the Glazers didn't spend one single penny to build, right? They own the land bank. They paid a little bit for the land bank, but the return on investment to have a 100-seater stadium will be the moneymaker. It's a shame, because every single owner that you look at in the Premier League, they want to win. And it makes me sad inside. It makes me really angry why the Glazers have never invested one single penny into the club. And now Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants to do the right thing. He pumped the money in to save the club. He must be looking at his partners that own like 67%. That's like, come on, guys, chip in. If they only would pay back what they took out from the club, we will never be in the mess. Will they do it? I doubt it. Now, changing manager is not the answer. Changing owner, it is the answer because we know what the root cause is, right? It's been the fucking Glazers all along, right? All along. Nobody's ever been successful under the Glazers, only Sir Alex Ferguson. And the fact is that Jose Mourinho said to come second that season, win the Europa League was his biggest success. You just have to look at the football structure and the owners and what they want to do. He cried wolf. He spit up the dummy when he didn't get his signings. So I'm baffled of the summer window when we did have the footballing operation, the so-called best-in-class people that we never addressed in midfield. That was the vital part. Well, okay, we got the two number 10s. Fine. But now we have the selection problem that Bruno is not happy to play deeper. And we haven't really seen Cunha and Wemo and Šeško click into gear as of yet. Right? So midfield for me must be a January signing, 100%. Is it going to be Wharton? Is it going to be Belieber? I don't know. There's a lot of talks, but the January window will be very short. So I'm sure if we are serious about, even getting to Europe, we need to invest in the summer. Because obviously, if Rúben Amorim fails, the whole Ineos plan fails as well. Anyway, guys, good morning to you. Mick Ruby here on a Thursday. Looking forward to hear the Rúben Amorim press conference and actually face Liverpool. Am I really nervous? Yeah, I am. Am I looking forward to this Liverpool game? Always do. Do I fear the worst, that we will be battered? Perhaps. But at the end of the day, this is Manchester United. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. And also hype this video. See you. Bye.